Hey everybody, Shark Scrapper. Well, you saw me bring these in, and I was trying to figure out if I was just gonna, start from the top and work my way down. And then I noticed that there's a sticker right there, and it says Xeon. Xeon inside. So I think we're gonna dive into that server right now and see if it's a moneymaker. Come on, let's dive in. So the first thing to understand is these are heavy. Yeah, these are Dell's. Dell Precision. This is the T7400, and this one is heavy. I don't know what's going on. All right, let's see here now. Unscrew the power supply. Our usual first step. And this is just my 1/4-inch socket. We got a whole bunch of screws on a whole bunch of stuff here that may have to come out. We'll find out. I can't remember doing one of these before. I'm sure I must have. But all right, so it looks like the motherboard is over here. So we'll take this side off. There we go. Okay. Cool beans. Cool beans. NVIDIA, so we got a nice graphics card down inside here. Got 2 hard drives. All right. So first let's get these covers out of the way. This has thumb screws. These covers, this is for directing air, so the air will come in and be directed over the heat exchangers. Nice big copper aluminum heat exchanger, multi-socket server card. There's the fan. And we got some RAM down in here. So, all right, so here's what we got going. We've got an NVIDIA graphics card, RAM down in here. Here's heat exchanger over top of one of the CPUs. The other CPU is blank. And we got the motherboard here. We've got an optical drive, a CD-ROM. So we'll, and some more fans here. And here's the hard drives. So we're just going to start plucking things out of here. Get the RAM out here. So metal RAM, 1 GB. There's, I just sell these for scrap now, and I don't mess with taking the shields off. BoardSort will buy them as Goldfinger with shield. Some people like to take the shields off thinking they're going to make more money. I did a video comparing that. So you can find that. It's either going to be in one of the cards, or maybe we'll link it at the end of this one for you to take a look at. There we go. Well, it's a little bit dusty and dirty. NVIDIA Quad Pro doesn't have modern type connections, so HDMI. Brain was locked up for a minute there, but it does have 2 ports. I doubt that there's any resale value, but I'll check on eBay before I tear this thing apart. Nice copper aluminum heatsink here. You got a couple of choices with these depending upon your yard, right? You can, and I'll show you this, you can easily cut that aluminum, right? So excuse me, the copper tubing. You cut the copper tubing, and you can even, if you want to, in this case, because we got a little, there's a number 2 copper tubing there. There's another chunk here. So you can throw that in with your number 2 copper. That you can put in with copper aluminum radiators. Your yard may have a separate category for it, all depends on your yard. Some people even like to go so far as to remove the aluminum fins from the copper tubing. And then here, you see there's a copper plate on this aluminum plate. That's kind of fiddly to get that off of there. But if you are so inclined, you can cut the copper piping off of here. And now you've got some more number 2 copper. Just twist it up a little bit so you get at most of it. Take it lightly at the base there. Give it a little twist up so you can get to most of the copper tubing. And cut that off. This is pretty quick and easy. You're not wasting a whole lot of time with it, and you are getting a little more value out of it. So if you're so inclined, go ahead and do it. Now, here you have ferrous screws that are inside of there. And so those can be a little bit problematic, but I think we might be able to just knock those things off real quick. Let's get this copper out of the way. It is visible above the bracket there, so hopefully a good whack will free that up. Kinda did. All right, so didn't want to come out as easy as I had hoped. That's all right. I'll take a punch and just punch those out. No big deal. All right, now then. We know we're looking for Xeon processors now for BoardSort. So, what are we dealing with? This is a X5260. I'm thinking not. I don't know. There's a lot of Xenons on the list. That code doesn't look familiar. I was just looking at it this morning. I don't know if you'll be able to see that code. I will try to get you a better picture of it. But once you check the code on the cap, on the price list, that'll let us know for sure. All right, so let's just go on over to BoardSort's website and take a look. By the way, if you haven't been there, they've recently upgraded the website. It looks really good here, really good. So anyway, we're on the BoardSort website. You'll notice up here you can log in, register, there's your e-scrap prices, and here is test and buy. So we're going to click on test and buy, and you can see here's the i-series, here's the Xeons, there's the RAM sticks. RAM sticks? What? You didn't know they were buying RAM sticks? All right, come on, let's pop in here real quick. Yeah, so if you have RAM sticks 8 gigabyte, 16 gigabyte, 32 gigabyte, and they've broken them out by desktop, laptop, or server ECC. Here's what they're paying. Now this is tested. This is just like the old tested CPU. So you send the RAM stick under this heading. If it tests out functional, then they pay you by the stick. And here's the prices if they're working. You know, great program here. There's much better value here than selling them as scrap. All right, but we are here to talk about the Intel Xeon. Look at all of these. Wow. I mean, that's just a bucket load, a bin load, a dumpster load. I mean, there's, there's a lot of Xeons there, and the prices are really good. Here we're still in the 20s and such, but when you get further in, we're at 114 there, 105, 405. I mean, there's some serious value here. Look at this one. Look at this one. The Xeon Gold 6254, $1,170. Oh my gracious. I mean, there's some serious money there. All right, but I haven't seen an X5260 anywhere on this list as we've been going down. Yeah, it didn't ring a bell when I was looking at it before, so not on the list. Oh well, that happens. Kind of a bummer, but we know we want to be keeping our eyes out for Xeons, and the more we come back and look at the list here, the more familiar we'll get, and we'll do a better job of being able to recognize the ones that are valuable while we're in the scrap. For right now, my recommendation is whenever you see a Xeon, set it aside, write down the code, and then go check it on the list. All right, let's get back to the scrap. The fan, usually there's a couple of screws holding it in place. This fan bracket. That one doesn't want to reach. Not long enough. Long enough. So let's go for the 12-incher. Hey, by the way, if you see any of the tools that I'm using and you want them for your shop, it's easy to do. You can go to my Amazon shop. There's a link in the description. I try to keep the tools that I use available to you all on my Amazon shop. Yes, I get a small commission when you follow that link, and that commission helps us to offset our Shark Scrapper Shark Adoption Project 2 for 22 campaign. There we go. And I want to thank everybody who has donated so far this year. I'm going to run some names scrolling through here so you all can see who some of our top donors are. And our Patreon members, I especially thank our Patreon members. All right, so nice fan caddy. Big fans, we'll turn those into motors by busting off the blades, and then the center part just goes in as an electric motor. Come on for there. Let's get these hard drives. All right, so just take this caddy off real quick. Now, these are SATA pin hard drives, so I just sell these to my yard as they are. BoardSort calls that a low grade or SATA hard drive board. They do not pay as much as the high grade or IDE boards. And when I did a video comparing the cost differences, I figured out that I was wasting my time pulling the SATA boards off and just sell them to my local yard like this, because there's no work other than pull them out of the caddy, stack them up, and sell them. Now, a lot of that decision depends on how much your yard is paying you, or your buyer, however you're selling them. So you do want to do the cost analysis, but I did a video on it just to give you an idea of what the numbers, how the numbers work out for me. All right, now these power cords, kind of interesting. I'm trying to. This might. I'm trying to decide how I want to get this power unit out of here, this power supply unit, because I don't know if it's going to have some resale value to it or not. All right, now, get that out the way. We might be shoving some stuff back into this shell when we're done. Now we can get the power supply out of the way. There we go. Great big old plug. H1000E-00, 1000 watts. There might be something to that. So I'm going to be kind of careful with these power cords. You'll notice that I haven't cut any of the power cords. I've been extracting them, unplugging them. So, in an attempt to preserve sellability. Is that a word? Or did I just make that up? Sellability. Some of these power cords are underneath of either the board or the plate that the board is sitting on. So let's go ahead and get the board disconnected. Set you over here for a minute. And we've got a combination of screws and screw posts. Here's what I mean by screw posts. So a screw post or a riser, sometimes they're brass, sometimes they're aluminum, sometimes they're ferrous, as they are right now. Sometimes they want to come out easy. Sometimes they want to be problematic. Go. But if you're lucky, you can get them. And screws. These extenders come in really handy when you have these deeper kind of shells to get into. That's all of you. There's our motherboard. Dual socket server motherboard. Let's get the CMOS battery off of there. And we'll get these heat sinks off of here. So most yards, my yard is one of them, they just require that you snip off the arms. You don't have to try to dig the whole thing out for your aluminum. All right, so here's our dual socket server motherboard. That's the way I sell them to BoardSort. If you have to depopulate, or you choose to, you've got some nice components here. Gold cornered BGA. Here's another IC chip. There's gold on this CMOS battery connector, so there's gold plating there. You've got gold edged oscillators, some regular oscillators. You've got some ICs and some flat packs, ICs, more flat packs. Tiny little MLCCs, really tiny. Yeah, there's a couple there that are a little bigger, but I've seen much bigger MLCCs in a lot of other places. So not much in the world of MLCCs. There's a jumper, probably gold plating on the jumper. Of course, there's gold plating on the pins inside of here, but those are really fiddly to get after. It really depends on the extent of your depopulating efforts. And then there's copper with the toroids. Copper with the toroids. So that is this server board. There's some screws along here that might be holding the plate in place. There we go. All right. Now, with that plate out of the way, so far so good. All right. There we go. Now we've got all of the cordage associated with the power supply. So when I check it to see if there's any resale value on eBay, I've got everything together. All right, hey, I hope you enjoyed diving into this Xeon processor server from Dell. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That's how you show me that you're liking the content. Don't forget to subscribe to the video so you don't miss a single episode. And the links that are popping up, there are going to take you to more shark scrapping content. Have a great day, everybody.